My name is Eggy Drago. I am the cream of the crop. I am the yolk on top. It was in early 2024 that I decided to go to an idol show in Japan on a whim because my graduated VTuber Oshi really liked idols. Needless to say, I got hooked. I think we like idols. After I met and talked to two English-speaking idols there, Hyria, Haigumi, I realized every single idol has a story, be it why they chase this dream, their ups and downs, and even their future after all this. And that's what I'm here to do, to give idols around the world a spotlight beyond the stage and a place to tell their story. Every idol has a dream and a story to tell. This is IDOLEYEZ.
Sweet, spicy, savory. Red Lobster's endless shrimp is now.
Up next, head maid of Asayoru Maid Cafe and MoeAge member Maid Sae joins the show to talk about the origins of the cafe and its connection to the idol scene. All eyes on me. IDOLEYEZ, episode 80, Maid Sae. Gotta load in. It loads in. Hello, everybody. Oh my god. I am the cream of the crop. I am the yolk on top. I am panicking because there's so many people on here, but this is IDOLEYEZ episode 80 with our guest for today, not tonight. And my last episode before I go on hiatus. She is the head maid of Asayoru Maid Cafe. She is a member of MoeAge. She is a shrimp god. Shrimp god. This is Maid Sae. Pew 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 pew. Hello.
That is a crazy intro. I was like, I saw you made the edit, but I wasn't sure what exactly where. And then, but yeah, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Eggy, for having me. Hello everyone. I am Sae. It's really nice to meet you, to talk to you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep. I mean, I think last year I had like a whole bucket list of guests I wanted on the show, and you were one of the names. And at the end of last year, I just, threw out an email and just shot my shot, and finally we're here. So once again, thank you for accepting this invitation to be on the show known as IDOLEYEZ. And we might as well get things started with a question that I usually ask every single guest. Who or what got you into idol culture / J-pop culture?
Yes. I think just like a lot of other people in the community, I'm also like a Love Liver into Idols pipeline. So I did, when I was studying abroad in Japan, I noticed a bunch of Love Live plushies and then the UFO catcher, and I was like, what series is this? It's super duper popular. And I kind of started watching the anime, and I wasn't really honestly super into it until I watched the seiyus perform at the live concert. And I think that was actually what truly hooked me into Love Live, was less of the characters or anything, was like specifically watching the seiyus. And actually, like, now thinking back to it, I was like, basically that was like the baby's first step into idol stuff, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then like after getting really into the seiyus, then I started slowly going from seiyus to like 3D idols, and then that was pretty much it, like Chica idol stuff.
I think for me, like, it was the same thing, like the same pipeline. The first step in the pipeline was Love Live, but I only knew like the songs from the anime, like the short versions, and then I found out about the Seiyu performing like at Tokyo Dome and like Saitama's Super Arena. I'm like, whoa, these songs and like the performances, that's what like drew me into idol at first, not like fully into it until like years later, but like that was my first step into it too.
Yeah. I think it's just really cool, like how many people in this community was literally like influenced by Love Live. Like that's it for us,
Yeah, that's usually the the most common origin for idol. Do you have like a favorite seiyu from Muse or Sunshine?
Oh, so Aquars is more group. I did watch Muse as well, but I'm like not as into them as I was into Aquars, as I guess like they're again like, like when a baby opens their eyes and like, this is my mom, this is it. But for Aqua, I was actually really into Yohane as a character, but the person who drew me in was actually Ainya's Suzuki Ainya. So Mari's Seiyu. I like literally like opened my eyes, saw her, and I was like, this is it.
I'm like, I'm an OG when it comes to Love Live, so I just know of Muse. So like Aqua's is like way past my time, but like it is interesting that a lot of people also got into Idols Through Sunshine. Stepping into that's how you first got into the idol culture / J-pop culture. How did you first get exposure to, I guess, the maid cafe culture?
It's just always a really funny question to me because like I think a lot of people actually like because I get a lot of applications to Asayoru and everybody always mentions they write in the comments they're like being a maid has always been my dream like ever since I was a child, and I was like, oh my god, you guys knew about all this stuff since then, because that was pretty crazy for me. I didn't know really anything about idols or cafe culture until literally like well, like I kind of knew about it, but I wasn't really deep into it until like 2015 or so. But I basically, funny enough, my college club was starting a anime convention at the college, and they were like, "Oh, what does a convention need?" And they're like, "Oh, like a maid cafe." And they're like, "Who's the person that we know that is the most adjacent to maid cafes?" And it was me because I like idols, and like that was it. They were like, "You're the best person to run this," and I was like, "Oh, yes, give me a second, let me figure it out." And I actually went straight to Japan because I had a trip already. I went to Japan and I went to 5 maid cafes, just like bam, 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 bam. And then I came back and I was like, I'm ready. I can run this maid cafe now. But yeah, it was really just like a chance that my friends took a chance on me and gave me this important task. And here I am today. Yeah.
Going to Japan and then going into those like 5 different maid cafes, like what was your experience like as like an outsider going into that?
Sorry, one more time.
Going into those like maid cafes and like experiencing like being there and like all the things that happened there for the first time. What was it like?
Oh, it was definitely like, because I've also watched Kaichou Maid Sae. I'm pretty sure that's everyone's introduction to maid cafes. I was kind of, but like it's definitely very much more focused on the romance part of the anime, not so much like working in the maid cafe per se. So going in there, I was kind of very, very intrigued specifically about how it functions. Like I spent a lot of the time kind of like following the maids from point A to point B to see what exactly they were actually doing. But yeah, it was like very much like, wow. Everything was so fresh, so new, and I'd never like I really understood the appeal because like I immediately fell in love with my first maid, who's graduated by the way, very sad. Like just the way that they speak to you, and then the way that oh, my partner's coming into the cafe today. I think they're prepping for the kitchen. Sorry, distractions. But yeah, it's just genuinely experiencing the maid cafe for the first time. Like gave me the rose tinted goggles where I was just like, maids are the best thing in the entire world, because I've never had someone so close, like looks so much like an idol, but being encountered like in such a close contact. Yeah, so that's it.
I think for me, what drew me in with like Chika and Kaiga idols was like that personal interaction, especially like during Bupan. So I haven't like personally gone to a maid cafe yet. I should go to Asayoru. I'm literally next door. My friend Ando, who hosted when I was on hiatus, he went to Maid Dreaming like a couple times in Akiba, but like I do want to experience like an actual maid cafe. So yeah,
You should totally. I think it's a because I think like a lot of people. Funny enough, I think it's so funny that a lot of people in the idol community are very much like not into maid cafes. Because I've actually heard word for word they're like it's really cringe, and I was like, it's really adjacent. Like once you experience it, you really understand. It's like very, very adjacent experience. So I hope a lot more people can try. But also, I know you're busy. A lot of people are like, I see everyone at idol events so much that I forget that they've literally never been to the cafe. It's super weird. That this past week someone came to the anniversary and I was like, oh my god, thank you so much for being with us for so long. And they're like, funny enough, this is my first time being here.
I think USAF Day 0. I think you guys had like a mini Taiban like the day before. I really wanted to go, but like I don't know. I think it was like super far from like the actual hotel.
Yes,
so
California traffic is awful. Like it's 45 minutes going anywhere, and then if you don't have a car, I know that like the Uber fees was like really, really expensive, so it's like completely understandable. This year we're like, maybe we should get like a shuttle and then just like shuttle everyone there and then back.
As you mentioned, yesterday was like the 5th anniversary for Asayoru Maid Cafe. Might as well go back in time and see how it originated. So, how did Asayoru Maid Cafe, I guess, come to be?
Yes. So I mentioned that in college was when I first started my first maid cafe. It was very, very bare bones, as all like college maid cafes were. But my partner was interested more in like the logistics of it, and I was very much like the passion. So we're like the brains and the brawn, literally. But we were doing it, and I think we were one of the first ones in the scene who were really focused on like the food experience, because I had gone to at homemade cafe, and I was like, this is it, this is what I want to do, because I felt like it was a very different experience compared to most American maid cafes at the time, who were limited due to the convention space. They couldn't serve any food. It was completely let's play games together with the audience, which is also amazing. You know, I don't want to discount that whatsoever. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. So we were like, oh, this we're actually doing something kind of different, and I think we're doing it pretty fine because we had a small following. And we were like, we should do this in real life. But at the time, we were like, there's no way this is going to happen. This is like a 5 year later project. Definitely not fresh out of college. Let's go and experience life a little bit more. And then COVID happened. So when COVID happened, we were stuck at home. We literally had nothing to do. And we were like, I guess we can start working on the maid cafe a little bit. And then it's like there were no conventions around. So the only things that we could do were car meets. So that's actually like Asayoru had our first events at car meets. They were the only events going on at the time, and it was a very different crowd. Some people were just car guys, not interested in anime whatsoever. So introducing them to that kind of culture was also brand new. But yeah, so basically, weirdly enough, COVID was kind of helped jumpstart the career, because from there on, we're like, we're actually doing really well. We should just commit, and that was it. Yeah.
So during that time, like, how did you originally get some of the maids into it? Or like, were they like new people that didn't know about like maids, or like they wanted to be a maid and just joined in? Did that happen?
So, the previous one, the college one, I literally just like went out flyering, literally like straight Akiba style on the streets with the flyer, be like, "Hi, please come join the Maid Cafe. Have you heard of a Maid Cafe before?" Etc. Etc. Which we still do today at cons. So, like, honestly, that gave me a lot of experience. But yeah, I think a lot of people at the time had never heard of Maid Cafes before. There's a few people who were like, "I've been dreaming of this moment," but honestly, I hadn't met in the beginning. There really wasn't anyone. Most people were like, oh, I kind of like know about it because of the anime, but I don't know what that entails. So Asayoru, though, a lot of the maids, actually the first 8 maids, the first OG Asayoru 8 maids, good half of them were from the college con, so from UC Irvine. So like Maid Sumi actually was like one of my first employees on both sides. So very, very happy to have her. She's definitely a legend in her own making as well. But yeah, like I think more towards after Asayoru formed that I was able to meet more people who were like, I've always known about idols, I've always known about maid cafes, I want to join. But in the beginning it was definitely like, hey, let's start with what a maid even is. Yeah.
Let's see. Going back into that, Asayoru Maid Cafe, how did you come up with the name, and like what was the concept like?
We went through like a lot of iterations of the names, but it was on like a Facebook chat that's gone now. That kind of dates it, like the Facebookness of it. But we went through a bunch of different ones. We were trying to go with like, there was like a cat theme one, there's a magic theme one, but we couldn't really settle on anything specific because we wanted it to be catchy enough, not too difficult to pronounce, but also like weirdly enough, we're always constantly struggling between being Japanese enough and being American enough. It's kind of like a weird balance because you don't want to alien the American audience, but at the same time, I think the American audience craves something kind of authentically Japanese. So to strike a balance between that was what we were struggling with the most. I don't know if we successfully did it with Asayoru,
I think you did.
because I know a lot of people kind of struggle still pronouncing Asayoru sometimes. But I think that it's like a simple enough syllable wise that people can eventually catch on to. But funny enough, after going through so many iterations, when I was a young wee lad, I made a email account based off of a Kid Cudi song. I think this is my first time telling anyone about this. it was a Kid Cudi song called Day and Night.
Oh yeah, all right. Man on the Moon, shout out.
Yes. And then so my email address was literally like day and night 104. Please nobody dox me.
What?
Um but then I was like very funny. I was like, oh, like it's a maid cafe. We wanted to do like a day and night, anyone can come home anytime concept. But why don't we just call it day and night? And then we were like, like Asayoru. And then after voting between all the friends, that was the one that was like everybody was like, yeah, that one's all right. And so it just stuck. It was honestly supposed to be kind of like a stand-in name for a little bit until we found something better, but nothing ever was better. So that was it. Yeah.
I mean, it is catchy and probably most iconic. I did not expect the Kid Cudi or the name origin. That's actually beast. So first starting like in the middle of COVID, and you had to do like first show or like the first like session was at like an actual car meet. Were there any other hurdles or obstacles that you like had to encounter during that first year?
Ah, so I think we were after doing like some events, we were very much dead set. Like from the beginning, we wanted to open an actual maid cafe. So actually finding the space was probably one of our biggest hurdles. Actually finding somewhere that wanted to take us. So for the longest time, maid cafes concept in America has been very sexualized. I mean, even in Japan too, it's definitely some people like it's very adjacent to kabakuras and other stuff like that. So actually kind of getting rid of that stigma, being like, hey, we're not like, again, no disrespect. I very much respect anybody who does sex work, but that's not kind of our game. So kind of finding a landlord who was willing to take us in, because every time we'd send out an email or like talk to someone like, hey, we're a maid cafe, and explain the concept to them, they go straight to YouTube and search maid cafes. And again, like no disrespect, but like one of the first top searches is made by a very famous YouTuber who went to experience maid cafes for the first time. And that maid cafe was very much very sexualized. That was kind of like they at the end they did hold, and some people in the community are gonna know what I'm talking about. I'm trying really hard not to name drop, because again, I respect what they do, but it's just not what we do. And this maid cafe specifically, it's like less clothing,
Right.
and at the end they kind of auction off some of their maids to guests, and it's not like a real auction, or anything,
Oh.
but you basically win an hour to sit with the maid and talk to them. And so if anyone's familiar with like Japanese maid cafe culture, sitting down is actually the line of barrier that separates maid cafes with kabakuras and like host clubs. So sitting down is kind of like taboo for us. But yeah, when landlords and other people, organizers, went to YouTube and that was like the first video they saw, it really like they were immediately like, okay, like no contact, like they stopped responding to me. So finding the location was incredibly difficult, and so we were very lucky to have found EXP Barcadia at the time to take us in. So yeah, yay.
So it was EXP Barcadia, and then like on the same property was Asayoru Maid Cafe, right?
Yes, we literally rented it out. So it was like a game. They had a separate room inside for some fighting game cabinets. And they were like, I guess we're not really doing anything with this room. You can have it. And then we were like, oh, we would love to. Yeah. And it's very exciting for us, even though it's like a smaller space. But honestly, like for our first ever cafe, it's massive. Because, I mean, if you've anyone's been to maid cafes in Japan, they're literally like a tiny little square foot. And then like a quarter of it is a tiny little stage that only one person can stand on, and then like that's it. So compared to Japan, that was actually like the dream space for us at the time. Yeah.
So how long were you at EXP Barcadia?
My number's a little wonky, so if anybody else in the comments is going to correct me, I think that we've been there for 2 years. I think that was the contract for us, was 2 years, but I'm not 100% sure. If anyone knows better than me, please let me know. I completely forgot.
During that time, I think it was like October 2021, you guys launched a Kickstarter campaign for a standalone location. What went down with that?
Yeah. So, honestly, funny enough, like I think a lot of people thought that the Kickstarter campaign was completely funded the space, which is kind of true, because we ended up not getting our own cafe, and then it was a shared space. Rent was a lot cheaper, and then the decor inside the cafe was completely done by me and a friend. We literally went in and like painted the place by ourselves. I installed the lights by myself, so that was very fun and interesting. I'd never done anything like that before. I mean, being a cafe owner really teaches you. Like, I'm actually a pretty good plumber now. Funny enough, really enough. Um, but yeah, like, so the Kickstarter campaign was more of like we wanted more people to know about us, and we wanted to see how many people were actually going to support us. I think a lot of idols and many people in the community can feel the same. Like, online buzz is very powerful. There's a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, I'll like I want to support you, want to do this, but actually having people show up is kind of difficult sometimes, and it's actually that is like the big deciding factor of whether one will be successful or not. So we were kind of just using that as a gauge to see like how many people would actually come out and support a brick and mortar maid cafe. And yeah, we were very, very happy with the success. We were like honestly blown away with how many people were really interested in it. Because I mean, there's so many maid cafes in SoCal, or maid cafe groups even before us. So the fact that people trusted us to be the ones to make that cafe was very amazing for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I like going through the Instagram and like scrolling down, because like there was no like actual documentation, like other than like the Kickstarter page, but like going through and like seeing like the campaign and also the YouTube videos like during that time, I was like, oh wow. I was like really like interested in how that started. So like it's good to get some insight from you right now. So so that was successful, right?
Yes, that was pretty like honestly it blew us away with how many I hand packed every single one of the orders by myself, and I was just like, how are there so many of them? Like I honestly kind of thought that we were gonna fail. So then when we kind of went above and beyond the original goal, I was like, wow, I can't believe it. But because at that point we only had like maybe 3 pop-up cafes underneath our belt, which is very little compared to most other maid cafes. So, but I'm glad that people liked the vision. Yeah.
So standalone money, set to the side. The contract for EXP Barcadia finishes. So you guys, I guess, were in the process of getting the standalone like property, right?
Yes. That was a different kind of hurdle. So I guess like for me, my biggest one of my biggest weaknesses in life is that I'm very over ambitious. Sometimes I get a little too excited and ahead of myself. Being fresh out of college, going straight into this, I have worked a few other jobs before, but owning a business is definitely a restaurant business in particular is a completely different ballgame. I kind of had underestimated how much more time it would need to build up a space. So actually, the current standalone location was originally a gaten sushi, like a revolving sushi chain. So inside the dead center of this, like maybe taking 50% of the space, was a solid wood, gorgeous, gorgeous revolving sushi belt. And every single at first we were like, oh, we just need to take out the sushi belt and it's fine. Everyone was like, it's gonna be easy. And then we got to finding contractors and them quoting basically a lot of them told us 60,000
What?
to take out. Yeah. Wasn't that an insane number?
Yeah.
I was like, that's literally like so many months of rent. That is impossible. Like the numbers, it actually shocked me. I was like, no matter how expensive it was, there's no way it could be that expensive. And it was that expensive to the point where I was like, should I go get a jackhammer and just do it myself?
Yeah, just hammer it.
Yeah, I was like, I should just like maybe we'll just host like a 1-day rage room. We'll have a bunch of people come in, sign like no non-liability waivers, and just like go at it. But ultimately, we were able to find a contractor, thankfully, who was able to take it out like a relatively cheap price. But it was like that actually delayed us so much, like getting rid of that actual thing, and then finding contractors who were willing to do it in the way that we envisioned it. Honestly, it took a really long time because. I don't know. I don't want to bore anybody with this topic.
No, that's good. I'm interested. They might be.
It's like we as a group have been kind of because again we're very young, kind of new. Well, I'm not young anymore, but back then very young and naive and didn't know anyone. So there was a lot of people who came to us who were like, "I'm a professional in this field and I want to help you guys," and we're like, "Oh my god, thank you so much." And then these people would either completely lead us on the wrong path or just not do anything for us. So we were kind of burned by a good amount of people like that we started to kind of develop a sort of mistrust, and we're like, oh, I don't know if this person's gonna actually do what they promised to. So maybe we should just do it ourselves. And that also caused a lot of delays because then we couldn't do it the way that we wanted to either. So there's just a lot of back and forth there. That, yeah, like this is something I don't really talk about much because it's like so behind the scenes. But yeah, like that really greatly contributed to the delay. Was like, should we do it ourselves? Should we go with this person? Will they do this on time? And then me explaining my concepts to them, and they're like, you can't do that. Also, fire department rules. I think a lot of people notice that we don't have a stage at the front of the cafe. It's actually because of like ADA rules and fire department. If we have that, we're classified as basically entertainment instead of a restaurant, and then the insurance price just like triples.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff, I think.
Yeah, like my only experience with like fire code was like episode of the bear, where like I guess the health inspector was like looking at the stove and like if it burns and like if it actually works and like everything and like the sprinklers and whatever. But like, yeah, it's probably tough like behind the scenes actually getting setting the foundation for this thing. So
our old location, actually, the stage was just a bunch of curtains. We were like, there was like curtains everywhere, and the fire department actually walked in and was like, hey, are these burn safe? And I was like, I didn't know that was a thing. And then they were like, you have to make these burn safe. And I was like, I looked online for the prices of like the burn safe curtains. Not only were they not very gorgeous, they were really expensive. So they were like, hey, another method is you can literally buy fire retardant and just coat it yourself. So we spent 2 nights just spraying the heck out of this like massive curtain by hand. Like we were on ladders with like little spray tools, like the gardening spray tools, and then we're just spraying it down. And then the fire department came and they were like, yeah, that's good. And I was like, are you gonna burn it? Like, are you gonna put a torch to it? And then they didn't. So I don't know how they knew we did it, because it didn't feel like, it felt different. It felt stiffer.
Right.
But you can't visibly see a difference, So I was like, how did they know that I did it?
So with that, like passing fire code, passing food health inspection. Like, actually, I do want to ask, what is the food like at Asayoru Maid Cafe?
We're trying really hard to get better at that, because like a lot of people are like, what is the actual experience like in the Maid Cafe? Because we're posting so much Maid stuff and all the events we host, but we don't really post our food. Because honestly, transitioning from a home chef situation to a commercial kitchen is a completely different ball game. But we try to, first of all, like 100%, we have omurice. I think that's a staple. If we don't have omurice, I don't think you can operate as a maid cafe. But we actually wanted to, like the kichi omurice. If anyone's seen the one that like viral when you cut it open and it flops open. Yeah, we've been trying to perfect that for a really long time, but trying to do that on a scale is much more difficult. For example, like if you have 30 customers and they're all seated around the same time and they all get an omurice, each omurice takes you a minute or so. It's gonna be 30 minutes, if not more, by the time the last person gets their food. And since we are very much like time, like limited to 90 minutes, that plays a huge effect on customer service, like the experience. So yeah, like trying to figure out how to do that properly is still something we're definitely working on. But yeah, so we have omurice, we have karage, katsu curry, some very classic Japanese dishes. And then times to times, we've actually started doing a new thing called Made with Love, where the maids bring food from their culture to the cafe, and then we either make it in the kitchen ourselves, or like sometimes they make it themselves in the kitchen. Like we send the maids in there to do it. So that's kind of like a fun experience. But yeah, we try to basically stick to more actual Japanese cuisine. But times to times, like different cultures. I think that's something kind of unique about us compared to Japanese maid cafes, is that we have so many different maids. So yeah,
I do remember like for Riri's, was it the birthday? But like for her thing, like there was an actual like menu for Korean barbecue. I think it was, right?
Yes, yeah. That was super popular. That we reran it actually for Christmas, because we were like, we have nothing better to do. Let's do it again. But yeah, Korean barbecue, huge hit. We were so busy, kind of almost understaffed, and actually we completely ran out of pork belly.
Wow. I guess with that down, with the actual standalone location down, I guess we might as well just go into like the day in the life of, I guess, you, a maid in Asayoru Maid Cafe. So what is a typical day like at Asayoru Maid Cafe?
I feel like this is gonna get really boring really quick.
It's not like idolize. It's for the yappers. If let's talk.
Yeah. So gosh, where do I guess like I can start with just the prep work, just like idols. Maids are very much like, not only are we there as food servers, but we are kind of on the menu ourselves technically as entertainment. So we spend a lot of time getting ready to. I am one of the faster ones. I'm maybe like at the fastest I can do like 20 minutes, like boom on, and then just go. But I know many maids take 2 to 3 hours just prepping and getting ready. So before you start a shift, you actually like really have to set time aside. You gotta like sneak some food in and then put your whole face on, put all the makeup and accessories, because everyone has so many accessories, and there's so many parts to our uniform as well that if you forget one thing, it just you can't function like that. So getting ready honestly takes a really large chunk of the time, and then we come in. And the prep work is, you have to prep like the ketchup bottles, the chocolate bottles, make sure that it's fresh and ready for the day. Polishing utensils, a very typical server job. Checking the bathrooms. Actually, moving into the standalone location for the first time ever, we all had to learn how to clean bathrooms properly. That was actually brand new. A lot of people were like, what the heck? Like, I didn't really sign up to clean the bathrooms. But now we're real maids, we're even cleaning the bathrooms. Before we just cleaned the cafe. Now we gotta like unclog toilets.
Oh.
We gotta like wipe down the counters and stuff like that. So and, like, gotta sanitize the door handles and everything. But yeah, so we do that. We prep the bathroom, we prep the dining area, we prep the dining utensils, tools that we use for the day. And then yeah, we try to do an opening video, just like how the maids in Japan do, where you like take a photo or take a video, and you're like, "Hi, we're open this time to this time today." Just as like a confirmation, because I know some people check our social media and be like, "Hey, are you guys open?" Because we have such a weird schedule. Yeah, and then going through the actual day is just honestly, it's very server oriented. I think a lot of people kind of don't expect that, because it's kind of like a foreign. Like, a lot of people actually came into this job with zero server experience, and that's actually really really difficult, surprisingly, because being able to balance like, oh, I have to take out this drink, I have to take out this food at this time, and our tea bar and our kitchen are on completely opposite directions. So you kind of have to know what time to go pick anything up, and then at the same time, once you finish serving food, we're not like a typical restaurant where you could just drop off the food and walk off, right? You have to decorate it with ketchup, or you have to do a magic spell, you have to do the MoeAge, so that takes up even more time. And then you have to make sure to take the checkies all within this 90-minute, and then say goodbye to the guest, bring in another guest. It's a whole thing, and it's a very difficult task for people to figure out the balance. Yeah, so when people come in and they're like, "Hey, I want to be a maid. What advice do you have like working here?" I'm like, actually, I would really recommend you going to work at a really busy restaurant, because that will help you stay afloat so much better. But yeah, like, it's a lot of food related stuff. And then at the end of the night, we kind of come back. We have a meeting. We're like, "Hey, how did it go? How can we improve overall? Did anybody give feedback about like our rice being too hard or something like that?" Yeah, and then we talk about like other things to prep, and that's pretty much it. It's like the full day. Hopefully that wasn't too boring.
No, that's actually interesting. So, one throwaway question from the chat. Sea Line, Hall of Famer in the chat. Do you do the cleaning in the full uniform or special gear for it?
So I don't wear them as often right now, but we also all have like little wrist like shoes, like I don't know what's it called, but they're like a lot of accessories, and they're really fluffy. So I once like plunged my hand into the toilet with it, and then I never made that mistake ever again. So actually, I will say for the most part, we are still fully in uniform. If anything, we like might take the headband off because like I don't want it to fall in the toilet. But now I'll just like hoist the accessories all the way up to here. And then we take off the apron because the apron actually, funny enough, it's all white and there's a lot of accessories on it, so like it gets dirty really easily. So like no apron. And then I know some maids like they like hoist everything up. But it's basically like, yeah, we're still in uniform, but just like in a weird form of it, like a more practical form of it.
Right.
Yeah. Don't recommend anyone. Don't envision it in your head.
We talked about like a typical day, but Asayoru Maid Cafe has two different shifts, Asa and Yoru. What's like the differences between both shifts, other than like being day and night?
Yeah. So right now I'm wearing the Yoru uniform, which is our standard. This is the one that everyone is most familiar with. But we do have a Asa uniform that is actually made by our lovely mate Nia. She made like all 14, 20 uniforms by hand. So it's a long Victorian dress, and we were trying to figure out how to make it like kind of Asayoru. And I think like, sorry, I'm gonna stand up a little bit. Like right here, this little crisscross line is kind of very unique. Well, not unique. It's very iconic for the Asayoru uniform. So we wanted to work that in there. We'll give like a more relaxing vibe because we are definitely less busy during Asa. It's like a more chill vibe, and you can't really dance so well in the long dresses because you kind of get tripped up. So it's supposed to be meant to be for like a relaxing time. We come in, drink a little tea. If anyone again familiar with Cure Maid Cafe, which is like the OG maid cafe in Japan, it's supposed to be modeled kind of off of their vibe. They honestly don't even do MoeAge at all. They're literally just servers in long Victorian dresses, and they serve food to you. But I kind of wanted to bring that experience here as well, because I think I've seen people say like, oh, they want that experience. They don't care about the MoeAge. They just want the authentic British made experience. So we're trying to experiment with that a little bit. But it's honestly, I think most people who come to the cafe, they want the Yoru experience. So every day it's like, you guys don't do performances? What? Like you guys aren't serving like full food? Where's the omurice? And so we've actually started doing performances during the morning as well. But yeah, that's kind of like a major difference is the vibes, the outfit, and then I guess the intent of why we created the Asa shift versus the Yoru, which is more like hyper and exciting.
Interesting. Because like I was wondering, because I'm not there and I also haven't been there, so I was like, I think looking through the website, it was just different dresses, so it's good to have like some details.
The vibes are a little different. And then yeah, we also tried to serve like 3-tier tea sets. Kind of wanted to target the ojo-samas a little bit more, who want to come in and sip a little tea, take some photos for like oshikatsu. But yeah, we're definitely still working on that part of it, and we want to try to do like more seasonal things. But yeah.
I see. So I know that on the Asayoru Maid Cafe maid page, there is a whole dedicated like section for the maids and also the trainee maids. I know I interviewed one Rose, who I didn't realize was in Asayoru Maid Cafe until like the middle of the episode. But what is the trainee process like?
So this is a part we're definitely also actively trying to get better on. But a lot of the maids, when they first come to Asayoru, it's literally trial by fire.
You just set them there.
So they do have we're actually like actively hiring now. So this is the wonderful question. I don't know if anyone in the chat is trying to apply right now, but we don't do as much trial by fire anymore. But it's still there's nothing that can prepare you for the job as much as little hands-on experience. So you don't really learn, like, because I can yap to you as long as I want, or as long as you want, about like, oh, this is the order of operations, but you won't really fully get it until like you try it yourself with your hands. So the first gen and the second gen, we all started the actual cafe part together at the same time, even though some people were like been around for longer. So that was literal trial by fire, even for me, because we had zero restaurant experience before that. I remember the first day it ever happened, the cafe happened, we were so behind on orders and so messed up that we literally stopped service and was like, hey, let's pause and refund everyone and figure out what the heck is going on, because we suck so bad right now. But we straightened it out and then we, like fixed it that day, and it got a lot better since. But yeah, like literally trial by fire. And then our third gen maids, they were hired during Anime Expo week because we didn't have enough people. So they literally the first day on their job, it was the worst rush of their life. Starting fourth gen and fifth gen, we started to figure out our stuff a lot better. But basically, you kind of follow an existing senpai maid around, and you kind of just watch, see what they do. You're not supposed to touch anything. You're not supposed to serve or draw anything. You literally just follow around, and you're supposed to take notes on their pacing. Like, oh, this is the time when I would go do this, and this is when I would go do that. And we kind of like that's how they learn. And then we have a testing experience where they actually come in and do the serving themselves with someone kind of watching over their shoulder, like, oh, hey, you should do this, you should do that. And then that's basically it. And then they have like a 3-month probation. During this time, we're supposed to kind of like look over their shoulder a lot, but we get really, really busy. And a lot of the maids who pass the testing are already pretty capable. So I will say they're kind of left alone to their own devices at that point. Rose is supremely capable. She's one of my best maids. She definitely picked it up like super duper fast. But yeah, the training process of Asayoru is actually pretty short.
I see. Well, if you want to be a maid at Asayoru Maid Cafe, I think the apps are still open. So are they? I think.
Yes, they are. We have like 4 or 5 more days left. January 31st. We're looking for like a bigger, like we're actually hiring a large amount hopefully this time because we want to do some more bigger things this year. So yeah, please join if you know any cute girls in California or any cute people in California. This is the number one question we've been getting on the application form is like, do you differentiate with like gender? Like, no, any gender can be a maid. I firmly believe. You just have to really commit to the maid role. Yeah.
I see. Fast forwarding a little bit, but like going into like the last section, but whatever. 5 years into this, 5 years of running this, especially, is this what you envisioned when you first started Asayoru Maid Cafe?
Fun fact, I have aphantasia, so I cannot imagine things in my head. Such a weird tidbit about me, but I actually, when people are like, you know how like, I don't know, when people are like, you have an apple, imagine an apple in your head, and then like you can rotate the apple in your head. Can you do that?
Yeah. I can
Okay,
do that.
I can't do that whatsoever. So when people are like, do you envision, then my answer is, I was like, I don't envision it. But that aside, I did imagine, well, like not imagine, like I guess in my head I thought out what it would be like, and honestly this is pretty close. We are going to be revealing a few more new things that I've always wanted to have since the beginning in the next. Oh my gosh, I just realized something.
What?
So last night we had the 5-year anniversary, right, at the cafe,
Right.
and I was supposed to make a bunch of announcements, and I literally did not announce the biggest announcement.
You want to do it now? There's a lot of people
Yeah.
here, so.
This was crazy. We had like 100-something people yesterday, and I completely forgot about this. Like, I showcased our new merchandise and stuff, and I didn't say we are grand opening. Our grand opening date is set to be February 28th. And I was supposed to announce that, and I completely forgot.
Well, you heard it here first, I guess.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations. It's a little embarrassing to be doing this right now because, like, we've literally been soft opening for forever. But that's because everyone on the team is kind of like a perfectionist, and we want to make sure that things is, like, exactly the way we want it to be. So we really just, like, we're soft opening. Please don't judge us too harshly. But yeah, February, the end of February, we're supposed to be grand opening, and we're going to be debuting a bunch of new features of the cafe. Like, I think the core experience isn't going to change much, but there's just like some extra tidbits that I've always wanted to have in terms of like the greeting and the membership process that we're going to be rolling out at the end of February during grand opening. So yeah, I hope everybody will look forward to that. Yeah. This is so crazy. I can't believe I just did that.
Glad to have the IDOLEYEZ exclusive. It barely
There it
happens.
is.
So, Sea Lion. Have you ever considered crossplay days with the maids dressed as butlers, or like cosplaying as Love and Deep Space boys or the Saja boys?
So my maids are Sumi and Riri particularly. They're like huge Love and Deep Space fans. They've been bugging me about like a collab for forever, but we're really careful with like copyright stuff. We have to make sure all of our collabs are kind of like official. So we've been trying really hard to get in contact. Well, not actually. I haven't been trying that hard actually, but because we have to make a full proposal and then we submit it. So we're still stuck on the proposal part, but they want it so bad. We have done Butler Cafe twice before, and then also, in case anyone doesn't know, this kind of like older lore, we have an event called Asayoru, where we hired a bunch of buff guys and we put them in maid outfits, and that was super super popular. That was like 4 events straight in a row being sold out completely. But yeah, so we do play with like butlers and like buff maids even concept, but only sparingly. I think it has to keep its kind of novelty. I mean, not everyone, most people who come in, like, they want to see maids. So we usually try to set aside time for the cross-dressing butler section, and it always does super duper well. Like, I know the Ojo-sama's out there, they want it real bad. So we're definitely planning one for this year as well. But yeah.
I see. Well, can't wait for that. I keep saying I want to go there, and I really have to. Oh my god.
So actually, side question: can you princess carry 180 pounds?
180?
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah. Why?
Yeah. Then I think you should apply for Asayoru.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Guys, comment in chat. We should have Eggy and the Asayoru outfit. You know what I mean? Yeah. We should
hire Solemn. He's probably better at that.
Yes. So. Solemn, 100%. I want him so bad. Please, Solemn, please come work for me. I need him in the outfit. Can you imagine? Like, yeah, I want them. You guys can come get princess carried by Eggy-sama, please. Everyone tell him to do that.
No, I'm not gonna be on the stage. I'm not gonna be a maid. So no.
That's what they all say at first. Yeah.
Transitioning on, we might as well talk about something, I guess, also associated with Asayoru Maid Cafe, which is the idol group known as MoeAge. So how did MoeAge first form?
So being an actual brick and mortar maid cafe, we're a little bit different from the other cafes in that we have to manage the restaurant a lot. So as I mentioned, a lot of the maid job is literally being just a server. So a lot of people don't have a lot of time learning dances, just like we did when we first started out. When we first started out, we had like less shifts, less things going on, so a lot of people were really really free, so we spent a lot of time learning a lot of new songs and doing all that stuff. And then once we got into the restaurant job, like, how when you come home from a long day of work, you just want to lay down and do nothing. That was kind of the case for a lot of maids. So we actually slowed down on learning dances, but we still needed to go out to conventions to promote and do a lot of things. So it kind of felt a little bit, sometimes we're like, oh, it's really hard to get the maids together to practice and push out new songs in a satisfactory way. I also noticed the shift in the community at the time of people who wanted more of performances. They wanted to see beyond just like dance covers. They wanted to see something more exciting. And so I was like, I had just come back from another trip to Japan. And I was like, you know what? I love idols so much. I had already been going to Japan for several years at that point to go to Chica IDOLEYZ, and the excitement that you feel at those venues is just something incomparable. And I had already been trying to bring it over to the United States, but to California specifically. But our singing is just something kind of. I think that's something that a lot of us still need to work on. I think compared to a lot of people in Asia, like a lot of people seem to not sing as much here. Just even in their daily life. I mean, in Asia, they have karaoke culture. Here, not so much, right? So a lot of people hadn't sung ever in their life. So singing as an idol was kind of like a foreign concept. But yeah, I basically wanted to create like a special expert team who could always meet together and practice together, and then we were gonna sing and dance and do the full idol stuff together. And I had to pick the maids who like performed the most. Funny enough, Latte, I have to mention her. I know she's a fan favorite for everybody, but she was brand new at the time. She had zero experience. She had just joined us, and I literally grabbed her and I was like, "Hey, you want to be in an idol group?" And she was like, "What?" Because most all the other maids that I chose had been there for a very long time, and they were one of our like they always performed whenever we do a event. They're always the ones like me. I'll sign up. They'll do multiple songs back to back. But Latte was someone that I had literally grabbed not too long prior, and she's such a talented dancer that I was like, I need you so desperately in this group, and I'm so glad that she agreed because she's a wonderful addition to the team. But yeah, we originally had 7 members. Rest in peace, Maho. Yeah, that's kind of how it came to be.
Like looking through, I do remember you sending like the branding or like the media PowerPoint, but and that's also on the website. But for further elaboration, like where did the name come from?
Perfect. Actually, this is a perfect time for me to pull up the first ever voting thing that we did in MoeAge. It was for the name. And I wanted to read out some funny names that we had come up with. So we have Kirameku Hoshi, which is literally just our first ever single that was released for Asayoru Maid Cafe. It was just a sparkling star, but nobody liked that. Not a single person voted for it. The other one was called Moe Connect. Some people kind of know this name because we used it for our anniversary live stream. I think our 3rd anniversary or 4th anniversary. I don't remember, but we were gonna be called Moko originally. Moe Connect Moko, which was pretty. It was pretty good. And then Moe Denpa, which was gonna be shortened to MoeMode, Momode, like MoeMode. I don't know. That was pretty high tender. And then Tomoe Ranai, which is like Tamaranai, like Tomaranai, unstoppable, but with like moe in it. Yeah, and then there's what's the this one's the worst one. IDOLEYEZ.
It sounds like a crossover between this show and Asayoru, so
yeah, no one liked that one either. And then we were trying to experiment because since we're like day and night related, we were trying to do like daybreak or something related to that. In the end, nothing really stuck except for MoeAge. So like, and the final contenders was Ikomet, like comet, but Ikomet. Then Moe Denpa MoeMode, and then MoeAge, and then MoeAge won literally just by 1 vote. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what we could have been. MoeMode.
With the name down, might as well talk about the concept. Like, what would you consider MoeAge's concept?
Yes. So we're definitely very much modeled after at home's Maid Cafe idol groups like at 17, Made in like that, because we wanted to be specifically maid themed. Because the original goal was to promote Asayoru. We were very much like an idol group formed to promote Asayoru. So we wanted to keep the maid theme there, but at the same time, I wanted to focus entirely on high tension energy. Like that's why like the MoeAge comes from. The age part specifically. One of the groups that I've always really enjoyed was Festive, and I remember the first time seeing Festive. They're really a group that when they perform, a crowd forms. Even if you don't know about them and you were literally just walking by, the way they perform gives you so much energy that they're like a magnet, and like people attract, and they come and they stay and they watch and they become fans. And that was something I wanted to create. I wanted to give people that feeling of fun, high energy. So we specifically choose songs with a lot of foodie copy, a lot of places to do calls, a lot of crowd interaction. So that is kind of like the idea is like cute maids doing high tension, fun songs to spread our love of maid and idol culture to wherever we go. So yeah.
A little bit of a side tangent, but at the beginning you mentioned like going to at-home Maid Cafe, and like years later, I think like IPLA, Idol Party in LA Volume 1, there was like a little collaboration there with Asayoru as well, right?
Yes.
And then you mentioned Festive, and then last year Festive was at like Anime Impulse, right? What is that feeling like, being like a fan and then transitioning into like performing alongside them?
it's actually insane. When I found out festival was coming, I was like, I I had actually literally just gone to a member graduation, like not a few months prior to it happening, and I was like, why are you graduating? You should be here in America. Like I was so close to bringing you over here. Oh, so yeah, it was stressful for that one, but it's crazy because I mean they're literally professionals and they're people I've looked up to for years of uh, they were the blueprint, you know. So it's still very surreal. This past weekend when I went to go pick up at home and like check them into the hotel, I was just like, I'm holding their passport in my hands right now. Like, it's really weird, but it's such a huge honor to be able to work with the people that I listen to their music all the time. I look up to them. I study their movements because we want to see why they inspire me so that I can go out and do my best there too. Um, but yeah, it's genuinely just like very surreal and it's an amazing opportunity. We have learned and grown so much thanks to them, and then working in tangent with them, like we learned even more. And yeah, it's just so lucky, and I don't. I'm honestly still at a loss for words for it.
I feel like it's pretty like surprising, I guess, like being in your shoes, like being like starstruck that I'm performing alongside people that I look up to. So
And the craziest part is they're always so like they're super grateful. I don't know, like it's so weird to me. I should be like kissing their feet for them coming to America. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, I'm like very very like otaku headed. So I'm literally like, oh, like when they come and they ask me of anything, they're like, oh, can I get some water? I'm like, yes, here it is. You know, like anytime he told me, asked me for the bell, I'm like, here it is, please take it from me, goddess. So when they come to me, they're like, thank you so much for bringing us to America. I'm like, whoa, why are you thanking me? I should be thanking you. Like I'm very shocked every single time. But I'm like they're also professional and so polite and they're amazing. I love my idols. Yeah.
going back into the MoeAge debut, you guys debuted at Little Akiba June 2024. It was like that like combination of events. It was Little Akiba and then at a Party in LA Volume 1. What was that performance like at Little Akiba? Like performing as a group for the first time in public?
Fun fact: if you know how like vampires are like allergic to garlic, or if you like hold it across to them, they start to like shrink. If you hold up any of our debut videos to us, we start to shrink. It was there's just so many things going on. First of all, Akiba Live is a decently like smaller venue, but they have a pretty nice stage. It's still on the smaller side. Looks like a temporary high-rise stage that they put in takeout. We performed, and one of our songs was Ase Boon Boon, right? And there's like a left and right motion to it, and we're like jumping. We actually tore the stage apart.
Oh.
While we were performing, I felt the stage shift underneath me, and I saw a gap opening up because it's made up of multiple pieces, right? Literally, the stage started to go apart, and some of the staff saw immediately rushed to push it back together. Yeah. And I thought to myself, I was like, if I fall right here, this would be the most embarrassing debut video like ever. Like literally, the floor would open up and swallow me whole. I thought about it a lot. But yeah, it was so it was very chaotic. There's so many of us, and then we were like performing and singing all together for the first time these songs that have a lot more higher level of technicality than what we normally do as well. And also remembering to kind of do like the crowd interaction too, because like that's like the big part of being an idol is like you have to do crowd interaction. So there's so many things more to manage. And then yeah, we were just really, we were so nervous. But when we got on stage, I will say, like personally for me, I was like, oh, like choshi ni yotte, you know, I was like a little I got a little carried away. I did a lot of mistakes that I don't normally do. I got too excited. I saw people getting lifted. I saw people pointing at me, and I was like, "Yeah!" And then I started like screaming at some point. So it was really embarrassing. Like watching back the video, I see there were many points where I got too excited because I was just so moved by the fans myself. But it was at the end. I think we were all like felt like crying because it was just so like, wow, I can't believe we did that. I can't believe so many people cared enough to watch us, and people seemed to have a lot of fun. But yeah, that it was just a very rewarding experience and something I don't necessarily want to relive it again because I think I think we've grown a lot since then, singing and dancing wise. But the feeling is something that I will always carry in our heart. And it was like the first time we were like, hey, we're doing something right. We're doing something cool, something that people really, really enjoy, and we should keep doing that. Yeah.
I remember like my very first US like Taiban was at a party in LA. And like I only knew about Phoebe and Barry. I did not know about you guys. I didn't know about MoeAge at all. So being there, going in blind, seeing you guys perform, I think that was like the very first time I saw like a group that was in the US very reminiscent to an actual like Chica idol group that I saw like, 3 months prior when I was in Japan. So that feeling, I guess like that first impression really like stuck with me. So
Yeah, I'm very grateful for that. We try really hard because, like, I'm a huge idol fan myself. Like, I wanted it to be real and authentic. I want it to be like we actually like started out with zero backtrack. We have a little bit more now because I think it helps the audience experience. But we literally had no backtrack, like full live singing, and because that was the raw energy that I appreciate the most during Chica Idol Lives. Like being able to in such close contact, like hearing a person scream directly into a microphone while reaching out to you, that is the most powerful feeling ever. And I wanted to really authentically bring that experience here. Yeah.
So going through the Asayoru Maid Cafe blog post, very very insightful stuff, especially the one about the debut show, like the after post, which was like you were quoted saying you only wanted to support idols and never expected to be one. How were you feeling after like everything there?
I'm not gonna lie, I still like every day I threaten graduation to my members every day. Like some days like I'll like do like a tiny little step up and I was like, oh man, I should just graduate. Like I'm also very known to lose my voice because I tiger, like tiger, but it's a kind of strain on your throat. So my members actually banned me from tigering during shows because like it's like we're literally about to go on next and I'm here screaming and like my voice is about to break. So I threaten that every day, but I still very much want to be a supporter as much as possible. I think that I'm sure a lot of other event organizers will feel the same, but it's really hard to balance being a good event organizer and like a fan because you gotta really focus on oh no, like this mic is not doing well, let's run up and give them another mic, or oh, like a performer needs this right now, like we have to go check to make sure the audience is not misbehaving, no one's rushing up to grab the idols or anything. There's like so much to kind of consider. And so for both event organizing and being an idol, like it feels like I can't really enjoy being a fan as much. So these days I kind of just live very vicariously through other people. Like one of my favorite things to do is otaku watching, like bird watching, but otaku watching. I stare straight in the crowd and just like when I hear them screaming and yelling and everyone jumping around, I'm like, wish that could be me. But that brings me great joy. Yeah, I still don't know if I deserve to be on stage, really.
What?
I think compared to a lot of
You
my members, I think all of my other members are just so talented, like they are crazy talented. Like not like the visuals, the dancing, the singing. Toki has the most gorgeous voice ever, like that I've ever heard in real life, and she just sings casually because we live together. I just hear her singing casually all the time, and I'm just like, what did I do to be blessed with this experience? Like Latte is a good dancer as well, but Riri is also an incredible singer and dancer. Sumi is a great singer and dancer. So compared to them, me too. Also, sorry, forgot to say Me Too. But by the way, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Me Too is actually incredible at throwing it back.
Okay.
We were doing like a funny little thing, and we were like, oh, like because like we were trying to like do like hip movements and stuff like that, and Mitsu was like, oh, like this, and we're like, how are you doing that? It was crazy. Anyway, so, sorry Mitsu, if I'm not allowed to say that. I don't know if that's part of her Tenshi image. She's very very talented, and she picks up dances like she does so many dances that I cannot comprehend. Like she picks it up way faster than the rest of us. It's crazy.
Right.
But yeah, they're all so talented that sometimes in comparison, I'm like, why am I here? Like, am I really allowed to be here? I'm sure a lot of other idols feel this as like kind of imposter syndrome. Um, but yeah, I think ultimately when I go on stage and I see people like yelling and Oshi jumping for me, I'm like, I guess I can stay for like a little bit longer. I guess I have some worth here. Um, yeah, yeah.
that, that threw me off.
No, nobody clip it. I'm scared. Amelia's gonna come and be like, "What did you say?" We actually have practice like after this tonight, so she's gonna be like, "What did you say about me?"
But yeah, imposter syndrome sucks. I know for a fact because I got it too. But if people are saying good stuff about you, take it in stride.
I'm very, very grateful every time like people come up to me and they're like, "I liked you so much." I was like, "Really? Wow!" Like I'm not trying to be rude or conceited. I'm just like, "What did you see? I want to know."
But yeah, like even though I technically didn't see you guys at USIF, because that ran until like 3 a.m. 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So I did catch a little bit of the gorilla passing by because I kind of was stuck at Phoebe's off Kai. But like seeing like some of your performances like at the corner, just seeing you guys, it really is captivating, especially you. So
Thank you. Yeah, we try really hard, and I'm glad that feeling does convey. Yeah.
So Asayoru Maid Cafe, just like any other maid cafe at home, daydreaming. You guys have original songs. What would you consider your favorite?
I was out of. I just have to always choose Saijoku. Like I feel like that's the crowd favorite in terms of hype. That's the one that everyone knows the best. And every time the beginning, like the starts playing, everybody's just like whoa. So for me, I always choose songs that I think people will enjoy the most, like as my favorite. It might not necessarily be my own personal. Like I'm not listening to Saijoku on repeat at home. Like I'm not bumping to it really. But like performance wise, and then like something I want to choose to perform every time would probably be Saijoku. Yeah.
Momentary Princess in the chat, Kiki asks, do you find that you enjoy more spontaneous guerrilla lives like at USIF and also the one at I think ALA? No, Enemy Impulse. Or more formal, well organized events?
That's a tough one to answer. That's a really tough one to answer. I think there's a spunk to guerrilla lives. That's kind of like, when you go to Shinjuku and you see some group just like performing right outside the JR station. Like
Right.
that's a special feeling too. But it's so janky sometimes that I don't wish it upon. For example, the one right outside of US Idol Fest, like we came in like speakers and everything. Like I farmer carried all of those equipment out there into that hallway and then set up, and then we were like nervously looking at the hotel staff to see like if anyone was gonna shut us down. Even though we did get permission for it, it was still like very nervous. I felt like I was a thief. And then like setting all that stuff and then like setting up a little pit because we were literally set up next to like a trash can area. Yeah, but like I mean, the speakers it worked out. But recently we did it again at ALA on our own stage, and the sound system that we have, because it's hooked up to a Jackery, like a mobile battery, it literally cannot support all 6 of our mics and all that stuff going on at the same time. So a lot of our songs actually cut out near the end, and we were just singing acapella like la 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 la. So there's definitely a jankiness to the girl life. I think it's kind of endearing, but of course, if we have the opportunity to perform on like big stages, like the big ALA Idol Showcase, that's always like so cool for us. And then that one time we got to perform at Peacock Theater, that was incredible and truly something that it kind of snaps you back to reality. You're like, oh wow, I'm like actually doing this right now. Something that I've seen other people do on TV. So I treasure every time we get to perform on big stages too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like performing on the same stage years prior was where Aqua's or Love Live Sunshine were like
Oh
performing
yeah.
for the first time, and so being on that legendary stage probably probably is a lot.
It was pretty crazy. We were like walking the backstage. We're like, they walk these backstages. We're in the rooms. Maybe they put on their makeup here. There's a bathroom in here. What? Like, they're fancy.
Going into our last section, which is future slash retrospect, and might as well get into this question, which was on my list anyway. New York Theater asked, what advice would you give someone applying as a maid in this upcoming cycle?
Number one advice is always try go to a restaurant job real quick. That's the number one advice for this particular one. But honestly, just maybe like a little bit real, like, less like a little fantasy breaking real quick. I think a lot of people kind of go into this job because they want to be loved. To be quite honest, like that's a part of the idol thing is like you want to bring joy, but you also kind of want to be loved. And think a lot of people go into this job because they're like, I want a fan base, I want to bring people happiness, but I want also people to kind of love me. I think through that they kind of lose sight of the professionalism of an idol and a maid. Like, why do you deserve to be loved in a way? Well, no, I'm not like love should be unconditional. That's one thing, but like in terms of like a fan base perspective, I think a lot of people are really caught up on like I want people to just like me, but they don't really consider why people support other people, and they kind of lose that sense of professionalism in that path. So I think for above all, when we evaluate candidates, even if they have zero service industry experience, we will still value someone who's highly professional, who is like, hey, I understand that this is a job at the end of the day, and I'm willing to do anything to like become a better maid, become a better idol. Please teach me how. And kind of have like a very humble attitude to it, and being willing to take on any task kind of given to them and really learn. Kind of like a professional, humble attitude is something we value very, very greatly.
I think that's a like mindset that anyone in a job should have for sure. Yeah. Okay. This is a question I actually have, but might as well get it from chat. Stephen Lee San.
Oh.
What is the most challenging / hardest part when running Asayoru?
For us right now, funny enough, it's the kitchen. None of us are professional chefs. Like we didn't go like chef school or anything. But running the kitchen is something like so surprisingly, well, not surprising. It's obviously this is for professional people. But it's just we encountered so many more hurdles when having to deal with the kitchen, making sure like how does food quality is something the most difficult thing. Actually, I'll personally admit I don't eat in the cafe a lot anymore. When we first started out, I did eat some stuff in the kitchen, but like after a while, it's kind of like, oh, like I'm always eating katsu curry, you know? I'm like, I don't really want to eat that anymore, but you still have to eat and taste test because you want to make sure the food that goes out, the quality is consistent. So that's kind of, yeah, surprisingly, that the kitchen right now is probably like our biggest headache all the time. Coming up with new menus and stuff like that too. But outside of that, I think maid serving side, we've got it pretty down. I'm pretty happy with most of our service for now. There's obviously definitely a lot of room for improvement, but yeah, like nothing compares to the kitchen.
We talked about advice for actual maids applying in like that sense. We have someone in chat. Julie's Box asks, I guess behind the scenes, more meta, what are the struggles you've experienced, and what type of advice would you provide for someone or for people that are bringing maid idol culture to other parts of the world / the US?
It's really hard. I think we're the only one at the moment who went cafe, like restaurant, and then branching out kind of method. Most other groups are like focusing on perfecting the convention experience and then maybe slowly working towards the cafe. Because honestly, having the cafe is sometimes it drags us down a little bit. Like we, again, are so busy with the cafe that we cannot do too much outreach. I don't know if I'm a good fit to be giving advice. I mean,
What?
I'm still
No,
definitely learning
I
a
feel
lot.
like you are. You're probably part of the most prominent maid cafe ever in the U.S. So
Thank you, thank you. Very, very high praise. Um, I know there's like groups out there that's like 10 plus years on us. Like this is like something I talked to Egi-sama like before we even started. I was like, I'm a little nervous. I don't know if I'm qualified to be here. Imposter syndrome, haha. But
I get it.
yeah, I guess in advice, the biggest advice is definitely like plan, like a lot of planning. I think that's something what we were kind of struggling with for the past few years was that we didn't plan things out in advance. And I'm talking like a full year, maybe if not 2 years in advance. Right now, I have the full Asayoru 2026 schedule like written out pretty detailed. And I think that before anything happens, a lot of detailed planning needs to go in. And I'm not just saying like write out, oh, I want this event to happen this day. It's to really think about the logistics. It's something I think a lot of people struggle with is like, how is this actually going to happen? And for example, like actually this past weekend, our lovely Jared from Fortune Ferret was praising me for my line control skills. So during Idol Party, like we actually taped down with masking tape exactly where each group's Pupan line is gonna be like, where to take their checkies, and all of that. Like every single line was taped, so everyone knew exactly where to go. That is such a small detail that a lot of people honestly forget about. That makes such a huge difference in everything. So just using that as an example, but like really detailed planning and really thinking about as much as you can and planning it down to the T is a very important thing to do for business owners or maid cafe people. So, and then doing your market research, really knowing what do the people around this area like. For example, California otakus, they really like doing calls and mixes. I noticed this time when we went to Atlanta. I think the Atlanta crowd, they are more like wotage, like quiet wotage focus. Like they yell a little bit less. Versus California otakus, we're shouting 24/7 through the song with the idol. We're yelling. So kind of knowing what the specific geographical audience wants, what they want to see, and kind of catering towards that is also very, very important as business owners. Yeah.
You talked about like the business side behind the scenes. Might as well focus back on, I guess, the performance aspect. What would you consider your favorite performance at the cafe?
Every time people ask this question, so I've learned a lot of new songs over the years, but like the most consistent one that I've been doing at the cafe, and it's always a crowd pleaser, is Ayumi Magical Showtime. Literally, there was one time we were just hanging out in the cafe, and Dolly was like, "If you don't do Ayumi Magical Showtime right now, I'm quitting on the spot." And I was like, "Dang, it's not that serious, like chill." But it's a song that I learned like it's been like maybe 2 years now. But it's a fun song where I integrate wotage into it too. Like at some point in the song, I crack heels and I do like doo, doo, doo. That I would choose that as my favorite only because people really, really like it. Like the people go crazy for it, and they're always like, "Please, please do Ayumi." And then when I crack the euros, like everyone's like, "Wow!" And that feeling is absolutely unbeatable. So I'm very happy that people enjoy that song despite me performing it nonstop over the years. Yeah.
In contrast to that, another question I usually ask everyone is, what would you consider your toughest performance that you've done?
Oh. At a cafe or as in like idol?
In general. So.
In general. As a maid, one of the toughest ones probably was, this is like a funny one. It's not like tough, but like 1 year for my birthday, I think it was like I don't remember which year it was, but it was like a Chunibyo darkness summoning theme. And the night before, for whatever reason, we had cleaned the cafe really, really, really well. Like I'm talking like scrub the floors, spick, span clean. And I had a Woodgate performance during that. It was for like internet Yamero, and my feet were sliding. It was awful. Like I looked back at the videos and I'm like I'm going into Thunderstick and my feet are like I'm ice skating. So that was like literally actually tough. That was really funny. I don't know if anybody noticed. Thankfully, I hope they didn't notice, but I was stressed out about that. As an idol, again, because I lose my voice quite often, I think the most difficult one was that one year. Oh no, actually, just recently, the Gorilla Live at ALA, where I completely lost my voice, and my other members had to step in and sing for me. I felt really like useless. I was literally in there to kind of fill space. I was trying to really focus on crowd interaction because that was all I could really do, and like doing the dance moves. But I like was like, wow, I never felt like this so powerless where I literally couldn't say anything. I couldn't do the greeting with everyone. I couldn't really. When I introduced myself, I was croaking. Um, yeah, that was like for me mentally, that was probably the most difficult because I was like, I want to contribute. Like, I'm very much like I have to do my part kind of person. Yeah. Sorry if that was kind of weird.
No, no, it's not. I guess as you've been into this community, this I guess Maid community for a while, and also like stepping into the idol community as well. What motivates you to keep on going with this?
Definitely our lovely Goshini sama Ojo sama is like I feel a personal I joked about this during the anniversary event too, that they're all shareholders of Asayoru. I mean, they've invested so much time and money into the cafe. Like at this point, I'd almost say almost on par on me. So I feel like I owe it to them to really make everything even better. That we have to constantly strive to become better and greater. And this is something that I kind of it's a struggle, I think, for both idols and everyone in the sphere. But like between what you enjoy and what the audience enjoys, it might not always exactly align. So you kind of have to choose a balance because you don't want to lose your authenticity. Like you still want to, being an idol should be for yourself too. Like you should also find enjoyment in it. But at the same time, sometimes you have to choose like what would the audience enjoy as well. You can kind of take their feelings and thoughts into consideration. So yeah, I'm always kind of struggling between like, hey, like this is something. Thankfully, what I enjoy most of the time is what like the audience enjoys because I'm an otaku. But there are certain times where I'm like, hey, maybe this song is not as like exciting. Maybe we should choose something a little bit different. Even though I personally really love this song, etc. like that. But yeah, I feel very much a personal responsibility to everybody who supports us, and I want to become the best ever so that they can very proudly be like, I love Asayoru Maid Cafe. Like they're great, and they can don't feel shame when they say that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, gotta keep on going. What are some songs? A side tangent. I like at your birthday live, and also the birthday teaser. That I used for the edit, whatever. But like the background sound or the background music was Oiran Dochu, and I'm like, oh my god, there's like three gaijin that know about Oiran Dochu, and then like someone recorded your performance. I was like, oh my god, they performed an Oiran Dochu song. Oh my god. But shout out Kokoa, the other Oiran Dochu fan that is outside Japan. But what are some other songs that you want to perform in the future?
Ooh. Are any of these spoilers? But yeah. I actually like last night I was looking at a bunch of different songs because I was like, what's the next song that I should pick? I'm actually starting to think about my next birthday event already too. 'Cause, again, planning is very important. But Onan Doshu is a group that I found really randomly on my past visit to Japan. Like that, like I was like, dang, they're so good. I also am a huge fan. Like my Kamiyoshi group is called .bpm. They're also a tiny little group. We did perform one of their songs before, Pecan. It's a towel song, but they have a really funny song. Actually, I think I can say this one. I've wanted to perform it, but honestly, I don't know if it's a crowd pleaser because it's a lot of footy copy. The pacing is a little bit slower, and it's a goofy song. It's called Bungee Jump by .bpm, and there's a part that it goes like this, and then we all like put our arms out and then we jump like a bungee jump. It's kind of goofy, but it's not as exciting as some of our songs, so I think we haven't chosen it. I hadn't gotten to that song yet, but it's something that I definitely want to in the future want to perform. Yeah, maybe that one.
Now that we're in a new year, going into February, but what are some goals that you want to achieve this year?
I have so many. I have like many big plans. I actually was talking about it. I actually got an email back from one of my like my ultimate plan for this year. I can't exactly say what it is because it's so super top secret. But it's if I pull this off, it will be legendary. No joke. Like it's going to be massive. Uh, but so I can't talk about that. So I won't bait you guys with that anymore. Um, but I want to do a lot more collaborations for the cafe too, and I want to bring more different Japanese idols over. I think that like I love at home so much, and they're so important to me. But I think people kind of crave new experiences, which is all I'm very grateful for Jared to bring more Taiwanese idols to us this year. Like No Face No Reality was incredible. Like watching them was so insane live. But I want to bring more unique and variety of like Japanese and Taiwanese and other groups to America this year. So that's one of my big goals.
See, well, I have a group and a soloist that I can suggest. I'll do that off stream. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Yeah. I need to learn more about like the East Coast. Like I know of them, but actually delving more deeper into it, like I need to learn more about that too. And I would really love to. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only person with this idea, but like an actual like US Idol Fest with like all the idols from like
all the
Texas
country.
and East Coast and everything, like gathered in one spot, and then we do like a big Taiwan together. That would be insane. I don't know if I'm the person to pull that one off. Whoever gets to it first, you know.
WSF, get to it. I guess this is like way in the future, but like, how long do you want to keep at this?
Well, I'm threatening graduation every day. There's so many days where I'm like, I wish like I love working as a maid. I love going on shift. I love talking to people. But there's some days where I'm like, dang it, I just need a little bit more time to finish this Excel sheet. I wish I didn't have to go into work today. But then when I go to work and I see everybody, I'm like, yay! Like this is the best time ever. I love being a maid. But there's so many times where I'm like, I wish I could spend more time doing more back end stuff. And I'm literally always working. If you ask anybody, like even if I go to Disneyland or if I went to like I was in Universal Studios Horror Nights and I was in line applying for 626 Night Market. They've actually this year for my birthday, my friends bought me an iPad mini so that I can keep working like on the iPad mini because I was complaining about my phone not being big enough for my work. So I'm like literally always working, but I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm quite old. I think I'm very
No, you're
open
not.
about my
No,
age.
no, you're not. No. You have your birth year in your bio. No, you're not.
I'm like turning 30 this year, you know? Like so I have shout out to some of my Gojin-samas in chat who are literally 10 years younger than me. I'm always like, does it weird you out that I'm 10 years older than you? But I want to keep going for until I can see Asayoru like stand on its own. I guess I don't feel comfortable right now because I'm like I feel like very much like I'm very mother hen. I know like I need to be in control. I need to take us to the next step and stuff like that. But I think it's gonna be a really, really long time until we get to that point. So I don't think anyone has to worry about me graduating, even though I threaten it all the time. But maybe at least 5 years, at least 5 more years, and because I have really grand plans for Asayoru, and I need to see that come into fruition before. For MoeAge, actually, I really want to take us to Japan on our own in our own power. So that's another goal. So I hopefully MoeAge will be around for a much longer time as well. So, yeah.
I see. Well, I after streaming, I'm gonna suggest a Japanese group, but I might also suggest a contact. So, talked about retrospect, talked about the future, but like going back in time, if current you went back in time to the very first, let's say like the very first MoeAge performance, what would you tell past you before they went on stage?
Relax. Relax. I'm a very kind of like not uptight, but I'm like a very nervous and like I'm like a not micromanagey, but I'm very much like I guess I'm like a nervous person in general. I think going into the show, had so many anxieties. I was like not only nervous about me, I was nervous about the group members, I was nervous about the show, and I was like, I didn't know how we were gonna do, but I think honestly, like I went off key so many times, and there was so many embarrassing moments for me personally. But at the end of the day, when I asked everybody, "Hey, what did you feel about the performance?" Nobody ever goes, "Hey, you were off key. You like that one part that you did where you messed up like one dance move. That sucked. That ruined my entire experience." Like no one has ever said that to me. Thankfully, they're all very kind. But in the end, they always tell me like, "Oh, hey, I had so much fun, and the feeling that MoeAge brought to me was just so. I want to do it again." And so I hope that past me would be able to be a little bit less nervous and just like, hey, relax. You're doing something pretty darn okay, and people really enjoy it, and you should enjoy it too. Yeah.
Two more things. Who are some people in the Kaiga idol community that you look up to?
So actually, it was really exciting for me to go to AWA because it was my first time ever meeting a lot of East Coast. Like East Coast, actually, in terms of idol groups, is like light years ahead of West Coast. Right? Over here, we don't actually have that many groups. We just started getting more groups, original idol groups over here. And so when I went to AWA, I was able to meet. For me, they were like legendary. I'd only heard of their names in passing. For example, Alex Pinku.
Yeah.
Literally, the second I walked in, I was like, "Oh my god, I know you." And she was just like standing there, and I felt like I was meeting a legend. So Alex Pinku is someone I think they're so cool. Like they've been around for so long, and original music, and their vocals are very very strong and powerful too. Yeah, like that's one. And then Mage Mimi, I think that's the name she goes by right now. Also seeing her in person, like she just looks like that. Isn't that crazy that she just looks so gorgeous and beautiful? Like the way she just looks like that. Whereas she went on right before us during Idol Showcase, and like in passing, she was wearing a gorgeous gown, and I was like, "Wow, you're exactly the way you're drawn and everything." That was really cool to me too. Pangi traveled out to the West Coast for Akiba Live event too,
Right.
and seeing her live like was also insane. Her vocals are so strong. Also, I love the audience that she's cultivated. Like her fan base is a different kind of dedicated and strong too. So that's really cool. Yeah, like that's the first ones that come up to mind. But there's also like a lot more that I was able to meet. I mean, non-sweet, given.
Yeah.
Sorry, almost forgot Canadian. I was thinking too much U.S. Non-sweet obviously is like the blueprint for a lot of us out here. Like the first time that we were like, hey, some of us might actually make it, that we can actually turn this into a serious thing. They're seeing them and sing live. Honestly, like the recordings don't do them justice. They're so good live. They're insane. Like it motivates you to really do better live. And they're very professional. They're very sweet, even though their name is non-sweet. We all know that. Yeah, that's for now. Yeah.
I think last week when I had Yumiro Picnic on, like they mentioned Alex Pinko as like a big influence, and Pinko got in chat and was like, "Are you calling me Unk?" So,
I mean, hey, seriously, like back in the day, like, there's so many things that we looked, and like Alex Pinku was always involved. Like I go back to some of the things that back in the day I watched, and then I'd be like, "Isn't that Alex Pinku? What is she doing here? I didn't know she was here this whole time." And it's just like unknowingly, I guess she's been kind of like a guiding light in the community. And I saw her like recent revamp of like Kaiga idols on YouTube.
yeah.
And it was very informative, and yeah, like, she's very cool. I mean, they're very cool. I very respect them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had them at episode 3, and now we're on 80. Crazy.
The blueprint, always the blueprint.
Yeah. What are some upcoming performances or events that you want to talk about that are publicly announced? Or if you want to break news, sure.
Yeah, so the grand opening. Oh my god. I can't believe that happened anyway. In case anybody missed out, yeah, we're supposed to be grand opening on the 28th, February 28th. We're gonna be debuting some new stuff there. Make your reservations now on Yelp. But we're definitely, we have Reina, our lovely maid Reina's birthday, which is circus themed, coming out very, very soon. We are going to be doing a Valentine's Day event as well. And then if you have time and if you're able, February 16th, I haven't fully announced the details yet, but there's going to be a big special guest coming on February 16th, which is it's a Monday. I think it's like it's a federal holiday. I don't remember which federal holiday.
16th.
But
President's
February 16th, Monday, if you have time, there is a pretty big, cool event happening that day, and with some special guests they're like maid adjacent, but not really. They're kind of very different from all the guests that we've brought in the past. And yeah, and then we have another important birthday also happening. There's like always like maid birthdays happening. So yeah, if you guys are interested, please check out our Instagram page. That's where we post all of our events. Oh, I need to get better on Twitter. I know all the idol people are always on Twitter. We're really slacking on our Twitter game. I should definitely post more stuff on Twitter. But yeah, if you guys would check that out, and if you're out of state, if you can make time ever to come see Asayoru, I would be eternally, eternally grateful. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. My command doesn't work. I put like a whole thing with like your link and Asayoru's link, but if you, I know you guys, everyone in the chat at least follows Sae and the cafe, but if you're new and you don't know about them, follow them. So, this concludes this interview, but we have one segment that I always do at the end of every single episode, which is called the worst pep talk ever, where I give you, the guest, a terrible ass pep talk for like 1 minute. But since I am going on hiatus for like 3 months, I might as well have this for like no time limit. So here we go. Maid Sae. It's been a while since I did like a no time limit one. That's a calculator. What am I doing?
I'm like a little nervous. I'm like, ooh, okay.
Oh, all right. Timer still, but whatever. Maid Sae. Holy crap. It is actually amazing that I got you on here. And I know imposter syndrome sucks. I got it too. I know I can, you compare yourselves to like your other members and how they have like special aspects, but you got something too. You got something too. As I said earlier, MoeAge was like the very first group that I saw in the US that really captivated that Chica idol like experience. Like Strawberry Sundae, it's you, MoeAge, and it's Oyasumimi that like really Oyasumimi way later, but like Strawberry Sundae, MoeAge, like at that time really was reminiscent of when I was in Japan and going to like a Taiwan for the first time. And I really hope you and MoeAge like keep on going. And Asayoru is probably one of the most well-known maid cafes here in the US, and hopefully it'll branch out to be probably, bigger and bigger. But yeah, honestly, keep on going. Oh my god. I would say this is probably the best episode that I had. IDOLEYEZ. But
that's a great honor. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what else to say. It's been a minute, but keep on going. Imposter syndrome sucks. I know. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. No, and thank you for having me. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked at how many people came like to watch the episode.
I am stressed out because of that many people. So
I hope that like it was entertaining to everybody. Like that's always my main goal. I hope that it's entertaining for everyone, and I hope I don't know if there's any takeaways that they necessarily are gonna have from it. I was actually really curious about like the viewership here, like if it was more idols or more fans.
I'd say like 75-25. I'd say so there's like some idols that watch this just because like their Oshi's on here, or they really need like advice. So it's good to have that combination of people. But
very, very grateful. Yeah, I'm grateful for giving me a platform, and for anybody who like is listening and watching. Like, thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for hosting such a wonderful show. Like I have been watching it more and more recently, like while I'm working. I just kind of put you guys in the background because I want to learn more about idols too, and this is such a fantastic, cool platform. And you're so cool, and your questions are amazing, and you're very professional.
My questions are bad. And it surprises me that people actually watch this or like tell me that they watch this. I'm like, What? What? Thank you so much. But yeah, honestly, I don't know when I'm gonna go back to Oh, you might lure me back if Phoebe's performing alongside MoeAge. I will go. I will go to your cafe. And if there's
I've been trying to kidnap her for the longest time. Yeah. Wait, do you know that Phoebe used to work for me?
No, you told me like something else, but like I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Phoebe actually used to the first ever college con that I did back in the day at in UC Irvine. She was part of that. She was like, she was one of my first ever maids, and then we did do a collab here after like Asayoru was formed. But like, she was definitely an OG for us as well. So yeah, our history spans very long. Yeah.
But yeah, that has been it for this episode of Idolize. I am on hiatus after this for 3 months. I'm gonna be in the Philippines, just rotting, and then for 2 weeks I'm gonna be in Japan, seeing my oshis, goddamn Crazy Fantasy, and Tabernaigumi, Phantom Maria, Taburugumi. But yeah, in my stead, Ando, aka Andrew, will be taking the hosting position just like he did last year, and yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, once again, thank you so much for everyone that, holy crap, that's so many people that came here. The VOD will be up tomorrow on YouTube. If you want to watch the VOD later, it's also on Twitch, but officially it's gonna be on YouTube tomorrow. I'll tag everyone and then announce it on IG and Twitter. But yeah, that has been it for this episode of Idolize. Take care, brush hair, be kind, rewind. Support your local idol community. Support the Kaiga idol community. Go to Asayoru Maid Cafe and tip your waitress and tip your delivery driver. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.